Hey everyone, I'm Patrick Brown. Welcome to the new monthly project. This is number 51, and the theme for this month is original character designs, which I think is really fun and important to try out as an artist. A very creative challenge, something to really boost your imagination a little bit more, and get really creative. So it's more about coming up with those ideas and what are the character traits, what are they going to do, and what is their goals. They're good guy, bad guy, all that kind of stuff. And then getting really intricate with the suit designs and just the way they look. It doesn't have to be humanoids, it could be creatures, anything you like. So it's going to be a lot of fun to have a look at these characters, see what everyone's come up with in my art community over at my Patreon. So let's dive in, check out some original character designs. Each month I pick 3 submissions to critique. Congrats to Andrew, Jacob and Scott. I'll give you some feedback soon. Alright, so we've only got about 8 submissions, so I'm just going to talk about all of the submissions one by one, even the ones that I've chosen for a critique, which I'll get into a bit later. So this is from Andrew O. You said you imagined a daughter of Kratos. She paints a tattoo of Kratos on her face as an honor to father. On the left hand, she has a Spartan bracer and belt straps like the Spartans, and it's kind of, homage and honor to the father. So, this is really cool. I like the idea of this having, spin-off kind of. There's a daughter there. Obviously, she'd have a lot of traits of Kratos, and obviously the super strength and the power. I really love that idea, especially that Norse mythology kind of theme. Really going through there. I love this. There's so much you could do with a character like this. I think she looks cool. Really good details in all the I see the Norse patterns going through there in the wristbands, things like that. Love the cape. This is a really fun thing to play with, isn't it? This kind of stuff, just coming up with the suit and the costume and really making that original in your own, because this character doesn't exist. So that's the best and most fun thing about doing these kind of things. I think she looks awesome. Really cool. Love the weapon as well. That kind of double-edged spear. Double-sided, I suppose you would say. Each end. Really liking the way she looks. Glowing eyes just really sell it that she's like a powerful god. You know what? With all that power within. And that's really cool. Yeah. Alright, I'll get into some feedback on that one soon, and we'll go a little deeper on this. I'll try and help you with anything that I can see that might need adjusting or that I think could help. Alright, next we've got Brett, and you didn't have any like a description of this character. That's okay. It looks like you just had a lot of fun creating your own original kind of cyborg. What would you call this? I love how the dome has a face within. It's kind of making me think, is there a creature inside that has a cyborg kind of suit, or is this a robot that has more of a visor mask? It's like a digital face, or it's really making me think. So, but I love the way this looks. It definitely looks like a fun character to mess around with, play around with, and you got to really. There's a lot of energy and flow going through this character. The style is awesome. Really love that style. Vespa, you've called it. That's cool. See, I can picture this. I'd love to see this in like a video game, as a video game kind of character that you could I can imagine it really animated and running through. Nice work on that one, Brett. Right, we've got here's an original character from Elijah, and here's your description. Xeon X3681. So aka Trinity is a human-machine hybrid created under the Executioners project of 2054 AD. He was primarily created to hunt down and wipe out all rogue cyborgs which escaped the facility. Armed with a hydrogen fission sword, if I said that right, Prime X16, nuclear cannon and obsidian armor. Zion is an SSS leveled threat. That's cool. Awesome. Really good design here too. I love this kind of futuristic cyborg. There's just so much going on in the details in his armor and the body alone. Very I love the kind of like the hair, you know, it looks like dreadlocks almost pulled back. That's just a really unique look there. I really love that. And that big sword in the back mounted on his back there, that is unreal. Yeah, very nice and slick kind of design. Really does look like it's from the future as well. I'd love to see, you know, this world kind of, and I can really picture almost a world, almost like a Blade Runner kind of vibe, even more than that. So cool. This beast is looking really great as well. The way you've done every little detail through the legs, just the anatomy of this cyborg beast is really great as well. It's really creative, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's super creative in the thought, like the way you've really fleshed out, you know, the concept. It feels more lived in the character, and there's a lot more to it, with especially just with this big description. You know what I mean? That's what this is all about. Really using your brain and spending time on fleshing out those kind of details. I just think that's really good. Well done on that one. Love it. All right, Jacob, you're next. And here we go. There was no description of this one, but looks like you had a lot of fun just coming up with this insect kind of, what would you call this? It's definitely like a humanoid insect kind of cockroachy guy, I suppose. Like a mutant. I'm getting Ninja Turtle kind of vibes off this one. But this time it's like a cockroach. I love that. I think that's such a cool idea. And yeah, there's definitely an essence or something about that, isn't it? Like, you think of the Ninja Turtles, and you know, that I just think they've got so much character, personality, that grit, that kind of, you know, that tone that it has, and you're getting that a lot here as well. And there's a lot you could do with this kind of character. That's cool. Look at the details in that. I love that. He looks very, very cool, laid back kind of guy. You can see a bit of personality there. Very chill, just leaning, and yeah, I love that. Bit of attitude going on there. Yeah, this looks like a lot of fun. So what's going on here? A bit of power as well. So I'm guessing that you've got some kind of, I don't know, magical element, or more of a organic, charged up kind of, what do you call it, quantum energy or something rather, that's more scientific from the mutant, maybe the nuclear stuff. You could really do a lot with this, evolve this kind of character beyond that. Imagine all the different kind of stuff you could do. That's awesome. Yeah, I'd love to know more about this and the thought process, maybe the backstory a little more, and of what's happened. So, but I like the design. We'll give you some feedback later as well. All right, Leo. Now you've got two designs here. So you've got this one here. So you've got evil and good guy. So the hero. So let's dive into this a little bit and have a look. I like the look of this guy, first of all. I think that's great. I'm getting the feeling, like I'm looking at his design. So he's some kind of alien creature. Let's have a read. Let's have a look. So position, evil. Real name, Nama Gorg. Form, Togan. Yeah, great. So this is like an alien race. Height, 8 meters. Is that 8 meters? Wow, that's huge. 8 meters high. That's massive. There was a kingdom of ancient deep sea titans. Feel free to pause this and have a look through. So it's saying here that his race was one of the richest, you know, at that time of the kingdom. Okay, so we've got a bit of a battle of the thrones here. We have a young prince that was born, and he wanted to rule the whole world. So one fateful night, made his way into the parents' chambers and cold-bloodedly stabbed the king and queen, and trying to take over. Wow, there's a lot to it. I really love the way this is all fleshed out. You've got a whole backstory there. Now we've got another character here. This is the good guy, Metapulp. Metapulp? Sorry, I haven't worded that right. I really like the design here and the look of that. So powers, super speed, stamina, increased regeneration and reflexes, amphibian physiology. Metapulp. Sorry, I'm really terrible at names. Is a superhero who gained abilities as a result of contact with the mystical monolith. Yeah, that's great. There's a lot to this. Really love the way you've fleshed all this out, the backstory of both characters there. That's such a cool thing to do. That's what this is all about. And, you know, it takes most of the time, doesn't it? You know, to really think and spend some time thinking about these backstories. Then you got the next stage, I guess, which is all the actual character design and the original concept of all of that. Looks awesome. All right, great work there, Leo. All right, next up we've got Michael. You've done a character here called Masuru, and it says here Ink Warlock. Oh, that's cool. So I'm seeing is like octopus kind of powers. I don't know if that's what it is, a part of it. But that makes sense with the ink, you know, having all that. Or is this the actual, you know, big swells of ink and then it's dripping with little parts of it? But either way, I think this is cool because you can actually, like here, for instance, this is great the way you've all, laid all this out. And from behind, all those swells can come out and really take form, I guess, and be used as, you know, the ultimate weapon. I mean, have a look at this. You got those swells coming up through and taking form of anything, really. That's so cool. That's cool. These guys actually look like they're being like sunken into the ground or something from that. That's a cool idea. Scary thought. I like the look of this guy. This is great. Very, very creative. Oh, and you did mention that you wanted this to be like a D&D character idea. I like that. I think this is great. Love the way you've displayed all this. Thank you for going to all that extra effort there too. That's just really cool. Great work there, Michael. Love it. All right, next we've got Paul Cameron. And here's an original character of yours, the Wolf's Fury. You've got Ulfr, sorry if I've said that wrong, a young man from Norway. One day he encountered a stone altar, and upon touching the altar triggered visions of battles fought by Wolven warriors, their eyes aflame with primal rage. That's cool. Ulfr learnt to channel the wolf's strength, transforming fear into ferocity. Ulfr transformed into the Berserker, bound to mystical forces of nature. That is really cool. Yeah, he looks great. I love the design here, and you've got that Norse kind of, that Viking kind of vibe to it as well. Love the idea of, you know, the wolf as well, and that fury. Yeah, this is really cool. I like it. I would love to see, you know, like a full body, you know, fleshed out, like outfits, like the entire body. You mentioned here, you know, that he transforms, or, yeah, I'd like to know his different forms. How does he look normally, and then what does he transform into? I'd love to see that visually as well. So great work. I do see faintly in the back here, in this black faded background, you've got a wolf face, but I would love to see what that is, that transformed version. Yeah, great work on that, Paul. Right, we have another submission here from Tia Wallace, and this is cool. Cool original character from you, and I like the pose, a lot of attitude going on in there. I'm not sure, there was no description and like a backstory or anything going on here, but yeah, cool original character. I like the way you did the clothing, and the folds in the clothing, and very kind of that baggy look, very relaxed. The way that jacket's kind of folded right over there. Yeah, really cool. I hope you had a lot of fun with doing that, putting that all together, because that's what it's all about, you know, that creative side, really thinking about how you're going to create your own original. So yeah, awesome work. All right, last one we've got from Scott Jackson, and you've got the Mantoid, the praying mantis humanoid. Yeah, this is cool, and I like how you've shown the steps of your progression, you know, with the sketch, rough sketch, clean up, you know, more refined a little more, and then you've got the final render, full color over here. Very cool. Like the design, and that's part of this. Like, that's what I really like to see is, you know, all the little parts of the armor. Look at that, like intricate, that elegant kind of design here. It fits that kind of mantis, what do you call it, the kind of almost the design of like an insect or a that kind of thing, you know, that creature, especially the V patterns, those triangle V patterns that come down and form. It's got like a certain kind of elegance to it as well, especially with is it like a cape, maybe wings of some sort? And you said a fierce fighter and warrior armed with his power spear. Oh yes, it lights up too. And you said he has no problems eating his foes like venom. That's a frightening thought. Have you ever seen a praying mantis take down its prey? It's pretty crazy. Yeah, I like this. We're going to give you some feedback soon, and I'll dive into them next actually, and we'll get into some actual critiques, feedback. But overall, I think this is really cool. I like the colors. The purple goes really well with the yellows as well. They kind of really tie together because they're almost opposing colors. Gives it that contrast in colors as well. But yeah, really good. I like that. Awesome work, Scott. Critique time. So we're going to start with Andrew. Really like your submission here. We've got the daughter of Kratos. I like the pose. I like the way she's very heroic kind of shot, looking a little bit of an upward angle as well with that perspective. That really adds to a little bit of drama. I just like the way that's kind of set up. A couple of things I might try out. Let me just see if I can just take her out of the background. Okay, there we go. She's now cut out separate, so that's going to be easy to mess around with. I might just try and see if I can... I just want to lighten her up a little bit just so I can see some of those details a little clearer. Yeah, I really like what you've done in all those kind of details. That looks really great. I think the rendering, there's not much rendering going on through the belt. I would have loved to see a little bit more just shading just through all this detail here. You can see what I mean here just by adding a bit of shading. It's kind of bringing it to life even more. You could have a little more vibrance through maybe the cape, like lighten that up slightly. I'd even saturate it. So I'll just get the saturate tool and make that a little more red. And I think that just would help also bring things to light a little more. So I do a little bit extra. So I've just got the dodge tool and I do more up here and just bring it out a little more because it's over her shoulder where the light's going to be hitting a little more. And I think that'd be great to see, there. So see that it's kind of starting to all come to life a little more. You could do the same with some of these red straps down here. Anyway, it's more of just a contrasting colors. You want to make some of those pop out a little extra. Now, some of the main things I want to talk about in this specific piece, just the proportions of her body and such. So what I'm seeing is her arms are a little too short. She's got kind of shortish arms. Her head's probably too big as well, maybe. But I'm just going to do a liquefy and adjust it so you can see the change and the difference of what I mean. Right, I'm just in liquefy. So if I just press P, it'll show you before and after those little changes. So you kind of see what I'm doing. I've shrunk the top of her down a little more. Like I said, her head was a bit too big and her arms were too short. So here, head too big, arms too short. So I fixed that. I shrunk the top part of her down and now these are longer, if you can see that. And it's also the body. I just it needed to be stretched out a little bit, I think, just to make her feel a bit more adult or just bigger, taller. So it was the spear here on the other side. I would probably just shrink that just slightly because it's kind of going backward in space a little bit at this angle. You see the angle here? She's kind of at a 3/4 angle. So this one's more toward us. This one's pushing away a little bit. So I would have, definitely shrunk that down more. One more thing, just up here about her, just around her chest area. I felt like this area here, right? So beforehand, it's just raised up too much. It starts with the collarbone. I feel like the collarbones are just slightly too high. And then the chest area is just, I don't know, there's something going on there in proportion wise. So what I've done is larger through there and dropped it down a little bit. Just the anatomy just needed to be just fixed up a little bit there, just slightly. So I feel like that's more natural now, like a more relaxed, natural feeling. Just ignore the duplication up there. That would need to be fixed, obviously. The other thing I'd probably do is just vibrancy in the weapons. Like it's gold and it's shiny, and I'd probably just amp that up a bit, make it look like a metallic weapon, a little more vibrance through that. And also just through her a little bit more as well. I'd just add a little bit more dynamic lighting just through her materials, just to like help her pop a little bit more. I'm finding the shading just in her skin area a little too dark and harsh. Just going to try something with these weapons, like I said, more vibrancy, give it that gold kind of, you know, gold Norse god kind of look to it. So just enhancing that. I've just basically put a new layer over the top set to linear dodge, and I'm just going through with some gold colors that'll really just bump that up a little bit more. And I might even try it with some of these browner tones and see if I can just amp that arm up a little bit, enhance the colors basically just throughout to really bring it to life a little more and have a bit more feeling to it. You can also add an edge light to the character to really help her pop. See, there's a bit of a edge light. So you just think of like light sources that are bouncing off from left or right somewhere in the distance. This one over here, I sampled that kind of blue sky tone to have this kind of blue sky rim light, or edge light you call it, around that side, just bouncing off, really lifting off that character a little more, makes them more vibrant, bouncing, brings them to life a little more. You can enhance that even further. I'll do another new layer by set to screen with a soft brush, and I can just get, like, say if it was this color, and I can start to brush over the character again and do a softer, more of a glow. And you can even have it reach further in the character a little more. I don't want to go overboard. And then I'll just change the opacity, like take the opacity down to about like even 50%. So it's just half that. And now I've got more of an ambient touch to it, where it's a little more, yeah, lifelike, or livened up or something rather. Anyway, I'll leave it at that for now. But let's have a look and see a before and after I started. So before and then after. So I just wanted to wanted to lighten her up, bring out your line work more, because your rendering and all your color tones and stuff are a little too dark, where you start to lose the black line work. Yeah, so I just wanted to lighten that up. So now you get a bit more of the character details. And yeah, vibrance, head smaller and arms longer. So yeah, just stretch that out, and now she's fitting with that perspective a little more. So yeah, hope that helps, Andrew, with all those little touches there. Love the character design. I think she's great. Really awesome character design of Kratos' daughter. So cool. Love it. All right, next up, we've got Jacob Wells. He's your mutant cockroach guy. It is a cockroach, right? Yeah, I believe it is. Really cool. I love this. This should be pretty easy to get off the background, so I'm just going to quickly separate him. I've separated it. So it just helps when I want to like adjust things around a little bit. And there's not much I can do. It's an original character. So who am I to say, these proportions are wrong or anything like that, because it's your thing. It's especially a mutant cockroach, if it was a human anatomy and something looked off, I could probably correct it, but this is a little different. So I'm focusing on more the rendering here. I just wanted to kind of, it's a little dim in parts, and yeah, I just wanted to kind of lighten that up. And let's just get the levels going for starters, and I'll lighten, because you really want to just get all those nice details that you've got in there. You'd lighten it up a lot. And then I'll just go hue saturation and bring the saturation up slightly as well. Probably color balance as well. I feel like it needs to have, you've got a lot of green tones in there, which are cool. You got to get that mutant tone to it. Maybe I'll change, so the shadow section could have some blues, maybe purples. I'd probably really focus on the purple tones, maybe slightly the blues as well. And then you'd go highlights, and I'd go more yellows and greens and reds, warmer tones. And I'll just see how that looks. I'm feeling a little better about it. And then mid-tones, I can just keep mucking around until I feel like it's just right. And then it should be fine. I'll press OK. And I'll just give you a quick look at before. So you see how I'm lightening it up a little bit. And now your line work's showing more. It just looks more, it's just popping more. That's kind of what you want with a soft brush. And I'm going to start fading the edges back to that original slightly. And this will give that dimension, a bit of a feeling of it's more alive, and just a more kind of softer tone to some parts. So you can see just by doing those extra little fades, it's starting to really bring the character to life now. So that part's there's done. It still needs to have a lot more done to it. So what I would like to do is maybe I'll just control click on the character, make a new layer. So I just did a selection basically of it. And the new layer will be set to, let's go linear dodge just to mess around with some colors here. Now I really love, you've got this powerful hand here with a power on it. Let's get this green, this kind of really emerald kind of green here. And I'm gonna go deep saturated color. And then I'm gonna start to brush over, and you get this nice, see now it's really working up the hand where that power should be. And I like the way that kind of works. Just as a secondary layer, I'm going to do another layer set to screen with this same tone, but I'm going to change that color to like a more mid-tone saturated one. Sorry if this is confusing. And then lightly brush over, because I want them black outlines to not be so black. And then now it even looks more powerful. See that? That screen layer mode really helps lighten up and colorize those black outlines they're kind of too harsh for that. Anyway, back to the linear dodge layer, the other one, and I'll start to really, we're going to work on this character. Like I really like that, how that works. Do you see that? So you want to play around with a bit of vibrance and just that toxic kind of look to the character, you know, give that mutiny kind of look to it. So this is like an ambient light bouncing off the side of the character from that power. So we can really just colorize some stuff. Just go nuts with it and don't hold back. That's kind of what I recommend, is just go a bit more extreme, I would say, with the colors. And then as you get down to this bucket with toxic waste, I'm just going to absolutely go nuts with this. This should be vibrant and colorful and toxic all at once. And a bit more of an underglow, I suppose, on these rats, you know, because it's like the green ooze underneath them, or whatever it is. Yeah, and really have like them kind of glowing from it. But yeah, and then I could switch back to that screen one and do the, you know, so the outlines are more greenish as well, and make that really glow from the outer edge there. There we go. And you know what would really work well with this would be a purple. So if you get like on the other side, so if I get like a purple, and I'm going to go on the other side and start to put that in, I think that'd just make this really pop. Those colors, they're kind of toxic, and I think they work really nicely for characters like this. So I'm going to put a purple tone on the other side, and this will just liven up the whole picture and make it look a little bit more interesting to look at. Anyway, one more thing I'd probably do, it's up to you, but I'd probably just get the dodge tool and just go through the middle of the character and I'd just add more, just light it up, vibrant. Yeah, you've got this white background, so I would probably just amp it up, a little more vibrancy on that arm there. Anyway, that'll do it. I'll show you before and after, just adding those touches. So before, you see I felt a little too dim, especially with a white background. I think if you had a colored background, something rather, you could change to more of a dim kind of character with edge lights a bit stronger, but I don't know. You've done all this hard work on these details. So look in this leg here, and then before it's getting lost, all those details. So you want to kind of make the most of it, lighten it up a bit, add that ambient green mutant kind of lights to it. I think they work well, the purple and the green, but it's totally up to you what you choose. And all right, I hope that helps, Jacob. I love your design. Such a cool character. He's awesome. Look at that. Especially once you lighten it up, you can really get to see his face. And I just think that's so cool. Anyway, awesome work. All right, last up, we've got Scott Jackson, and you've got your Mantoid. And here's a reference you shared of the manta's face. That's cool. I see how that works up through the antlers and stuff there. Very, very cool. We'll work on just the picture alone. Yeah, I think you've done a really good job of the way this looks. I really like the pose. You've got a dynamic, like this pose has got a lot of attitude, and kind of looks really threatening as well, the way he's raising that arm. Kind of a low angle as well. Very cool setup here. And yeah, look, I think the only thing about this entire thing, which is what I want to get into with the feedback, is I think it's just the line work and the drawing just gets a little too rough. So if this was tightened up and really cleaned up, I think it would come across a lot more. You can really say a lot more when it's more refined, and you get a much clearer look at it. You know what I mean? So I'll just go through. I want to try and do just some tighter lines, just to show you, what it could evolve into even more in just doing a little bit more detail. So you can see just refining all these details, just trying to bring that hand together so that I can, get a clearer look, all the visuals, and I'm basing it off all of yours. So you've got the knuckles, all of that. I did refine a little more through just the structure, but not too much. It's basically yours, just cleaned up. And I might try and do the face as well, and see if we can clean that up a bit. I'm looking at that reference you had there too. I've put that on my side screen, and I'll keep doing this. So as I'm doing it, I'm looking at that reference, and I can see all these different layers almost in the praying mantis's kind of shell. It's like shells overlaying other shells. Do you know what I mean? Like the shelling or the layers of, it's almost armor. So I'm kind of doing that, and then I'd break out another little creepy bit under that. You see how it pops out of that one? So you got one layer and then two layers there. I think that's really cool how it does that. And I just do the same up through here. And I'm trying to shade each little crack as well, a little extra, just to give it that. And then with the antlers, I think they've got like little sockets like this. You could do draw a little socket, and then have the next bit pop out of that like this, and then that has its own little socket as well, like a hole for it to go in. I like to think of it like an action figure almost, where the little arms pop into the other slot, and then they go like that. I don't know, that's just one way to look at it. And I'm just kind of going a little heavier under some shadows in the line work. So thinner in some bits, but then when I find that there might be a shadow or like a cliff of underneath it, like that shell bit, I would go a little heavier in the line work like there. Now does he have like, oh yeah, they've got like little, it's kind of like this, like little jaw, I don't know what you'd call it. Is it like coming down to like a little hook like that? And then like those little sockets again. I think that's what I'm seeing here on the reference, so that'd be pretty cool to add in, like a little mouth bit like that. And they can be not symmetrical, like you could have another one like down here, just to add a little bit more of that creepiness to it, and make it look like it's alive because it's different. It's not in the same position on the other side. I don't know. That's probably what I would do, like that. And yeah, I'll put it back in Photoshop and I'll show you with the colors. All right, so I've just I'm in Photoshop. I am going to try and see if I can get your colors underneath, or your rendering basically, to work. So I've got these over the top. Let me just see if I can do these two sections and show you how it could look with your details and then my line work, and basically how it could all be pulled together with some refining. So yeah, there we go. I've done the line work for all of that now, trying to match your style underneath. So I'll just show you before and after. And it's really all about, I just wanted to clear it up, more clarity in the design and the art itself. So in the sketch and the drawing stage, I'd really love to see that all tightened up even more. So every little knuckle in the hand and the claws more clearer to see, things like that. I didn't do a perfect job of the rendering, because I didn't have too much time, but you can see what it looks like. I mainly just wanted to talk about the clarity, so cleaning everything up a lot more, especially when it comes to metal and armor and plates and things like this. Really lift off each little, have a little shine on there, metallic shine, show the dark creases in each fold, really pack in that black shading, stuff like that. So, and with the face, there we go there. So yeah, and if I was doing it properly, I would have refined these little teeth and things a little more, because they're kind of hiding now. But yeah, tried to keep all the hair and all the fairy stuff that you've got going on in your design. I'll zoom out a bit. But if that was done throughout the entire character, it would just look so much more finalized and a lot clearer. You'd get a really good look at it. So that's really all I wanted to talk about in that one. I love the pose, and very dynamic and everything. So really cool work there, Scott. I hope that helps, just seeing the clarity and just with how clean it can be. I hope that kind of helps understand a bit more about that and just tightening it up. So spending more time and really refining, I think that'd be the key here. All right, I hope that helps, Scott. Love your work. Thanks so much. Okay, that's it for this monthly project. That was really cool. Nice to go through some original designs there. All these character concepts. It's such a unique thing to do, isn't it? Because I'm so used to doing a lot of stuff that already exists, like fan art, or whether it's for work and doing a lot of Marvel and just characters that are always there. But doing your own is it's a big task, because you've got a lot more involved. It doesn't exist, so you have to come up with every little detail, whether it comes, that's the story of the character, all of that stuff, the origin, who are they, and then you've got the design, what do they look like, all of that stuff. So it's very complex. There's so much involved. But I thought it would make a fun project for this, and I'd like to do this at least once a year for our monthly projects. I just think it's one of those good for a rotation, basically, and bring it back again. Anyway, that was really good. And if you're new to these monthly projects and you'd like to jump on board, just head over to patreon.com/Patrick Brown, and you can join in, and there's always a new theme every month. So it's good. The next one we're doing currently, it's just started, is a collab challenge. So people team up and pair off. You can even have multiple people, like 3-4, do a collaboration on one picture. So it's a team effort, basically, and it's a good thing because you can actually do more. You can handle larger pictures when you have a team or a few people working on it. So that's what's currently happening. Really fun over on the Patreon there. Check it out. And thank you everyone here for your submissions. I love all of these. I think they're really cool. You all did a great job. All right, thanks everyone. See you next time.